Hi guys, good morning and welcome to the channel. My name is Niladri Mukherjee and I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. I practice here in Guelph, Ontario. This is going to be a very short video. I just want to discuss whether you should book your hotels, whether you should pay for your flights before you get your visa. In other words, can I get my Canada visa approved based on hotel booking? Now, this is a question that I've been getting a lot of late, particularly from people in India, and I could be very specific. I'm getting this question a lot from the people in Punjab, wherein the local consultants have told them to pay for the flights, to pay for the hotels in advance in order for them to increase the chances of their Canada visa acceptance, Canada tourist visa acceptance. And I could tell you is that this is not true. This is absolutely untrue. You really do not have to pay for your flights. You really do not have to pay for your hotels before you get your visa. This is more true in the case of COVID, in the times of COVID, because the processing time could be very, very different from one person to the other. From my experience, I could tell you is that I have clients that have received their visa within 4 days. I also have clients that have received their visa within 60 days from very same country, from very same state, and almost in the same locality as well, right? So the processing center and everything was the same, but still the processing time could be very, very different, right? So we always have to be mindful about not spending money on flights, not spending money on hotels before we get our visa. And we also have to understand what the law says and what the regulation says. The Immigration Regulations Protection Act and the regulations does not require you to pay for your hotels, to pay for your flights before you get your visa. Even if you look at the IRCC website, the government is also telling you quite categorically is to plan your trip after you get your visa in hand, right? Because obviously everybody knows that the processing time could be very different from one person to the another, as I have said. And it is also important for us to understand is that your visa could be turned down. Then what will happen to the flight tickets? What will happen to the hotel bookings? And I do understand there are refundable bookings, but hey, getting a refund from the airline, getting a refund from a hotel is not very easy. I have my personal bad experience with one of the prominent airlines of Canada. I don't want to name it, wherein I had to literally struggle for over 4 months to get my refund from that airline, even though the ticket was a refundable ticket. So why do you really need to block your hard-earned money on hotels and flights when there is just no correlation? I have seen cases where people have paid all those things in advance and yet their visa got rejected. You really have to prove one simple thing, that you will leave Canada at the end of your stay. And in that application, you also have to provide sufficient proof of fund. Now, there is no definition, there is no such standard definition of what is sufficient proof of fund when it comes to the application for temporary resident visas, because obviously it varies a lot. It varies from country to country, it varies from your personal circumstance, how many people are traveling, whether you have your accommodation already arranged or not. These are very, very case specific things. But obviously, like more generally speaking, you really need to prove that you have enough money to pay for your flights, you pay for your hotels while your visa and after your visa is accepted, but you really do not have to pay those money in advance. And I can tell you, even if you pay and if your application is not otherwise proper, even if you pay all those things, if your application doesn't abide by the law and the regulations, your visa could still be rejected under the standard 179, right? So please do not pay for all those things before getting your visa. If somebody tells you to make those booking, you always have the right to ask question. You should know your legal right, you should know what the government of Canada tells you, and the government is telling you to pay for your booking. Make all this booking after you get your visa. Make sure to submit a proper application, which is very, very important. And make sure to also, you can also write the same thing in the submission letter if you're working with an RCIC, or you can write the same thing in the explanation letter if you're working on your own, that I will make a booking of all those things once I get the visa, but I'm really not inclined to block my money on hotels and flights before getting the visa. This is 100% legal. And my general advice to all of you would be not to pay for flights, not to pay for hotels before you get your visa. 100% of my clients, I haven't asked even a single client to pay for the flights, to pay for the hotels before they get their visa. And touch wood, fingers crossed, all of them have received their visa, right? So there is no just direct correlation between that. I hope you find this video useful. And if you need my professional assistance, if you need me to consult you, drop me a line at contact@nuvonation.ca. Go through the website nuvonation.ca, tab, hop into the professional consultation tab. That gives you a clear cut understanding as to what a professional consultation is all about. If you need my services with respect to your visa, I will still suggest you to go through the professional consultation route, because the visit visa rejection rates are currently very, very high, irrespective of the country you applied from, irrespective of how strong your travel history is. And if you do not know by now, the travel history really doesn't have any impact on your visa, right? So if you need me to consult you, drop me a line. I will be more than happy to consult you. I see one question here that I would like to address, sir. I have applied 1 month ago for tourist visa but didn't get my visa yet. So you have to check with IRCC. It depends on the country. You have to check with the IRCC processing time, and it could take more time. It could take less time. It really depends on which country you have applied it from. If it takes more time than usual, it may be a good idea to raise a web form, right? And Mr. Sassi is saying hello to you as well. So, all right, I'll just leave you there, and I hope you find this video useful. If you need professional assistance, drop me a line, contact at nuvonation.ca, and I will see you probably day after tomorrow. Bye now.